abroad, and a form of limpieza social at home, dispatching huge numbers of superfluous people, mostly black males, to penitentiaries. That's a neoliberal phenomenon that's led to by far the highest incarceration rate in the world ever since the programs took off 30 years ago. Now, though the world is unipolar in the military dimension, that's not been true for some time in the economic dimension. By the early 1970s, the world was becoming economically tripolar, with comparable centers in North America, Europe, and Northeast Asia. And by now, the global economy has become even more diverse, particularly with the rapid growth of Asian economies that defied the rules of the neoliberal Washington consensus. Latin America, too, is finally beginning to free itself from this yoke. U.S. efforts to militarize Latin America are a response to these developments, particularly in South America, where for the first time since the European conquests, the countries are beginning to address fundamental problems that have plagued the continent. They're the beginnings of moves towards integration of countries that have mostly been oriented towards the West, not each other, and also efforts to diversify economic and other international relations. And still more significant are the problems of internal integration. There are, at last, some serious efforts to address the Latin American pathology of rule by narrow, wealthy sectors in the midst of a sea of misery, with the wealthy free from any responsibility except to enrich themselves. That's quite unlike East Asia. One measure is capital flight. In Latin America, it approximates the crushing debt. In East Asia, it's been tightly controlled. In South Korea, for example, during the period of its rapid growth, capital export could bring the death penalty. These developments in Latin America, which are sometimes led by impressive mass popular movements, are of great significance. And not surprisingly, they elicit bitter reactions among the traditional elites backed by the hemispheric superpower. The barriers are formidable, but if they can be overcome, the results may significantly change the course of Latin American history with no small impact beyond. Thanks.
Señoras y señores, a continuación damos paso a algunas preguntas por parte de los asistentes.
Bueno, buenas tardes. Primero que nada, muchas gracias por estar aquí. Y yo quisiera preguntarle, ¿cómo ven un mundo tan globalizado, con una economía cada vez de un modelo neoliberal que cada países adoptan, muchas veces no por ganas, sino por necesidad? ¿Cómo ven los países en vías de desarrollo la posibilidad de poder instaurar una política de mayor distribución de la riqueza que permita a los países salir adelante y no depender de modelos económicos como el estadounidense? Gracias.
There's a technological problem. One was that, And the other is that I'm getting the Spanish, not the translation, for some reason. And being technologically totally hopeless, I don't know how to change it. So if somebody can explain the question in English, I'll try to comment. Anybody want to volunteer as a translator?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm going to make the question in English. I want to know if